Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So Shams reported that the LA Clippers are going to be heavily pursuing Russell Westbrook before the NBA trade deadline. And to be 100% honest, I had no idea what to think of this, man. Because on one hand, Russell Westbrook is averaging nearly a triple-double again. But on the other hand, he's kind of become, notorious for putting up really good numbers, but not really translating into wins at this point in his NBA career, man. Much similar to, Andre Drummond, who has always been a great rebounder and can put up numbers, but doesn't really lead to anything, man. But, I know Russell Westbrook still has a big, huge, fan base out there. I know a lot of people think that he gets completely disrespected. And I think in the right circumstance, with the right mindset, Russell Westbrook could honestly help the Clippers, who, in my opinion, going into the second half of the NBA season, could use that type of spark on their team. So for today's video, we are going to be trying to figure out a Russell Westbrook LA Clippers trade that makes sense for both sides. You guys let me know in the comment section below what your trade would be looking like, and you guys can see, as mine comes up, if you guys have the same one as me or something completely different, man. So yes, also if you don't mind dropping that like, 1,000 likes is always the goal. Check out my second channel, Extra Crispy, for daily NBA content over there, and my third channel, Crispy Flakes Plays, which is my new gaming channel where I just kind of play whatever. Right now I'm pretty deep into a Detroit Pistons My GM series, man. So let's go ahead and get going on this. So I do have to point this out before I get going on anything. What the hell happened to Russell Westbrook's free throw percentage? I was looking at his stats, man. This man's shooting 49 or 50% from free throw this season. What's going on? I have no idea what's going on. What's his rating, actually? I mean, now I'm just kind of curious. Is, a 60, as it definitely should be right now. But yes, so looking at these Washington Wizards team, obviously they've had some injuries with the guys like Thomas Bryant going down. But to be 100% honest, man, the Wizards just been a bad basketball team, which is so frustrating because you look on paper, I know I did before the season started, when the trade went through, and I was on paper, that's a team that should be in the playoffs. Bradley Beal, who is one of the best shooting guards in the NBA, Russell Westbrook averaging nearly a triple-double like I was saying, and some pretty nice other pieces with Rui Hachimura or, Mo Wagner out there, Davis Bertans, who's a great three-point shooter. You look at it, it's what went wrong, man? What went wrong? So maybe Scott Brooks, I don't really know. But regardless, the reason I feel like Russell on the Clippers could actually kind of work is looking at his 2018-2019 NBA season. So this season right here was the first time really in Russell's career where he kind of took a step back as trying to be that triple-double. I mean, I know he still averaged a triple-double, which is, just goes to show how great he is, right, man? But, he took a step back as being that alpha of the team. He's okay, this is the season that Paul George played with him, man, who was on the Clippers, by the way, and the team had pretty decent success. I mean, I know they got knocked off by Damian Lillard, but regardless, they were, they were pretty good. And looking over on the Clippers real quick here, man, with, Paul George, who was his teammate, like I said, MVP season. He was literally top 5 in voting this season, man. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals per game, while shooting 39% from 3. So Russell, kind of taking that backseat role, given the other correct role players around, leads to decent success, man. Like I was kind of saying, I just don't think that, we're seeing it much more similarly with Russell and Beal on the team, where Beal is putting up the numbers, Russell Westbrook's doing his thing, but I think the supporting cast just isn't really fit or perfect for this team right here, man. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. But looking at Russell's contract too, this is where it gets a little bit scary because obviously, man, the free throw percentage going down is not great. But just in general, Russell is very athletic heavy. It's what a lot of his stats rely on. And, by the time this contract's up, player option, man, he's going to be 34 at $47 million. So Russell is definitely one of those guys, maybe similar to a Blake Griffin, where his athleticism could definitely be gone sooner rather than later. Now, I know the big reason beyond Blake Griffin is because of injuries and stuff. Russell Westbrook's been pretty good about injuries, I would say, throughout his career. But he doesn't really have that next step. I mean, at least with Blake, you do have the ball handling and the three-point shooting. With Russell, I mean, obviously the ball handler is a point guard, but you don't really get that outside offensive threat with him. So it could get a little scary down the road, man. So just from the Wizards standpoint, you were already able to get off John Wall's contract. Obviously, you took on Russell Westbrook to do so, but this might be a good rebuild opportunity to, if Beal does decide he wants to be around long-term, to get off Westbrook's contract and rebuild around Bradley Beal, going into the NBA offseason and next year and stuff like that, man, after having probably a top pick in the draft, right? So I think that's kind of the focus behind the Washington Wizards doing it. So if we can figure out some sort of trade to get them off bad contracts, it's definitely going to be a big-time W. Now, looking over at the Clippers side of things, as I was saying, here, solid play with Paul George. I think the best way to actually equate Russell Westbrook on this team and what he needs to be for this team to be successful is he needs to be Kyle Lowry. I mean, Kyle Lowry was always that all-star caliber point guard, but when he was playing with Kawhi Leonard and Pascal Siakam, I mean, he was like one of the best third options in the NBA. Like, he just knew his role out there, and he was still effective at it, efficient at it, which, you know, efficiency and Westbrook don't always go hand in hand, but it worked out for Kyle Lowry, man. So, you know, Kawhi Leonard obviously has to be Kawhi Leonard, Paul George has to be the Pascal Siakam, and then Russell Westbrook has to essentially be Kyle Lowry. And then, of course, you got Serge Ibaka who's on the team too, man. Some other guys, although some of these guys are definitely going to have to get traded, you know, for this trade to happen. And honestly speaking, like, young asset-wise, you know, you got my boy Luke Kennard out there that might be interested in. But besides that, you know, maybe Patrick Beverley to make, like, the contracts match up. I guess the goal here is going to be maybe to get out of Westbrook's contract, you know, 1 or 2 years early if they can do that. So let's go to this trade finder and see what exactly we can put together. So over for the Washington Wizards, it's obviously going to be Russell Westbrook. You know, the 2-year, $85 million contract with the player option. So that is a lot of money to match, man, especially if you're not trying to take on bad contracts either. So I think one guy that would have to be included in would actually have to be Luke Kennard, about $12 million a season. I mean, he's still only a 24-year out there, man, shooting about 46% from 3 on the season. He does play for the Clippers at times. He's actually been pretty decent, man. I think just the other night I saw he get like 15 points and 4 assists or something like that. You guys know I like Luke Kennard. I'm a big fan of his. I just think on a team like the Wizards, like, he would have an opportunity to play more out there, and, you know, it kind of fits in with the whole no defense thing. I'm just saying, he's an offense juggernaut. Defensively, not the greatest, man. So I think Luke Kennard would have to be part of a trade, you know, right off the bat. And, you know, beyond him, so you don't want to take on too many, like, bad contracts. So Zubats, you got, you know, Marcus Morris right here. You know, 31-year-old, $15 million a season for 4 years. Now, Marcus Morris obviously is a really good scorer, can put up 18 points per game. So, if anything, he could be like a trade piece for the Wizards. But, yeah, I think you definitely toss in Pat Beverley right here. He only has 2 years left on his contract, so you get out of that 30 year of Russell Westbrook's deal. So, you get that going for you. And at this point, yeah, we got to toss in somebody else to make it all even. So, we'll just toss in Anthony Gill. Not saying it would be him, but we're still down about $9.68 million to get this done. So, Lou Williams is pretty much an expiring contract. It would not be Serge Ibaka. You think they would actually want to keep Lou Williams? But at the same time, we got Reggie Jackson, who is, like, fine. I mean, he's not great, but he's fine. So, yeah, we'll toss in Lou Williams. That's just to get off the money right there. And we'll toss in somebody else. Let's go with Jerome Robinson. No, that's a little bit too much money. I'm not saying it would be Bonga, but we're going to toss in Bonga just to make the money work. And still $1.35 million short. So, would it have to be Zubats? I think we'll go Zubats. And then if it works out for us, we will also, yeah, Robin Lopez. Okay, that makes it work. So, you know, the Wizards, they get a better young center in Zubats. You know, Robin Williams can still help out a contender, so he goes over to the Clippers. Lou Williams for the expiring deal. Patrick Beverley, just because, like, his contract's only 2 years up, and next year will be an expiring, so you can definitely trade him away. Not to mention he helps out this team defensively, too, playing alongside Bradley Beal. And you get the good young player in Luke Kennard. And I'm going to say, too, the Clippers to do this, probably toss in... I would say it's going to be protected. I'm not going to do protection because, like, it's not going to let me. But I'm going to say it would probably be, like, a lottery protected draft pick. And I think that would be enough to get... Yo, wait. Yeah. No, we're good. We're good, right? Yeah, Russell Westbrook going over there. Did I do this right? I did. Yeah, the Clippers giving up a draft pick. There we go. I believe I did that right. If not, what I'm saying is the Clippers give up a draft pick and send it to the Wizards. That's what I'm saying, man. Okay, so yeah, that is the trade we are going to go with. I think it's pretty fair, all things considered, with Russell Westbrook. No huge name going over, you know, to the Wizards. But like I said, Zubats, how old is he, man? He's only 23, so that literally could be like your center of the future. You know, it does kind of suck for the Clippers giving him up, but like I said, you still got Serge Ibaka, and you still have, you know, Robin Lopez going over there. And to be quite honest, it puts you into play for, you know, Andre Drummond, maybe going for JaVale McGee or something like that. Like, there's definitely replacements out there for Zubats. So, yeah, I do like this trade. There we go. And let's put her through, man. So, yeah, so looking at the Clippers now, you're looking at a rotation of something like this with, you know, you got Russell Westbrook, you got Paul George, Nicholas Batum. Kawhi Leonard, Nicholas Batum, who I actually kind of like at the forward here. You got Serge Ibaka. You got Marcus Morris, Reggie Jackson, who plays some point guard, Robin Lopez, and you got Terrence Mann. I'm cool with him getting some minutes out there with the opportunity to go for some other centers or whatever if you need to. But overall, I like it a lot, man. I feel like that's a nice little spark. I feel like the point guard spot has been a point of weakness for the Clippers. And, you know, he just makes them a better team. Plain and simple, man. It makes them a better team. He still got the scorers out there, too. So, I don't know if... Damn, you've come full circle, Reggie. You backing up Russell again, man. That could get a little awkward. I'm pretty sure they would send away Reggie Jackson if it got too awkward, like just like they did on the Thunder, right, man? But yeah, not great. Maybe those guys can work things out. Who really knows? I don't. Maybe they'll take Reggie Jackson instead of Patrick Beverly. Probably not, though, for money purposes. And yeah, just looking over at the Wizards real quick here. We're not going to follow them in the simulation, really, but you know, you got Bradley Beal, Lou Williams on the team now, too. Give him some scoring, Pat Beverly. You got Luke Kennard out there, so... Damn, Luke Kennard way down this list, bro. Y'all better get this man some minutes out there or something, straight up. So, okay, let's go ahead and simulate this season and see how this Clippers team does. And, you know, let's say that the Clippers don't do a trade. Where do I see him right now, man? Well, obviously, you know, Anthony Davis is out for a few more weeks, I should say. So, the Clippers really need to go upon, you know, and get that top seed. I still think it's going to be the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. So, no matter what seed the Clippers get, they're going to have to face the Lakers at some point. And, yeah, a completely healthy, rested Anthony Davis has got to scare you. I don't care what team you are. It's got to scare you, man. But then you look at the Eastern Conference. Let's say that this team does get to the finals, gets past the Lakers. Then, you obviously got to deal with, like, a team like the Brooklyn Nets, who have their crazy big three. So, you know, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, if they can work things out, that is just as good. I mean, I don't want to say just as good, but it's still a crazy good big three as the Brooklyn Nets big three, man. So, and then at that point, it comes down to depth. I think this Clippers team, after this trade, do they have better depth than the Nets? I don't know if I'd necessarily say that. You know, giving up Lou Williams and stuff really sucks. But you still got, like, Marcus Morris, who's a great scorer. Like I said, man, Reggie Jackson still has starter experience going back to his Detroit Piston days. But even with the Clippers, too, it's like you do have three guys in Kawhi, Paul, and Russell. All those guys can play heavy minutes at any point in the NBA playoffs. So, yeah, at that point, assuming you stay out of foul trouble, like, depth doesn't become as big a deal. And I mean, like I said, there's still, like, the buyout market and everything to consider. So, yeah, I think this definitely makes the Clippers a better team. And 2K loves them. They are the first seed right now. 59 wins on the season, man. It all comes down to Russell Westbrook, though, taking that backseat just a little bit more, going back to his 2019 season with the OKC Thunder and Paul George, but now obviously becoming backseat also to Kawhi Leonard. So, no longer can be Batman, can't be Robin. You gotta be Alfred, man. It's playing, but Alfred's very important to the team, okay? Better than being the Joker, right? No, Jokic is actually a better player. Okay, simulate the regular season, finish with an L on the season. So here's all of the stats for you guys to see. We got All-NBA first, All-NBA second with Kawhi Leonard, and All-NBA third with Russell Westbrook actually making that. So, and then we got Paul George, all-defensive team. I don't even think about this team defensively now, too. Like, because Russell Westbrook's not like a bad defender, I wouldn't say, you know, given the right motivation. But you already got Kawhi and Paul George, all NBA first team, so, or all defensive first team, I should say. And yeah, first seed in the Western Conference. So cannot ask for much better than that. And damn, they did so much disrespect to the Utah Jazz. So much disrespect. Let's go to these player stats on the season, though. Did the Wizards do anything? They did not make the playoffs as expected. But yeah, man, so player stats on the season. Kawhi at 27, 5-5. Paul George at 25, 6-5, and then Russell Westbrook, 23 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists per game. Very good efficiency, bro. Probably his career high in efficiency, right? Yes, definitely, man. 49%. Wow. So he played really, really good for this team. And he even shot, what was it, 32% from three, which is decent enough, I would say. Free throws still S, but it's all good, man. And then we got Serge Ibaka and Marcus Morris doing thing with Reggie Jackson. So it worked out pretty dang nicely. Looking over at the Washington Wizards, the Luke Kennard actually get to play. Lou Williams dropping 18 and 5. Good for him on that. And well, 5 points for Luke. Okay, he's up to a 76 overall, man. You got to get him higher in the rotation, though. 56% from three. Yo, what's his rate? What's his three-point rating? Let me just see that real quick here. I'm just so curious. He's got a 92 three-point shot, guys. Killing it. So here we go. Let's see if we can actually win the playoffs, which is the ultimate goal. If you get to the playoffs and Pandemic B shows up, or Russell Westbrook shows up, or Kawhi or River shows up, then, oh no, Kawhi's always good. Not so much last year, but yeah, simulate rounds. We'll see how these teams do out here. So, okay, we got past the first round, 4 games to 1, 28 for Kawhi, 25. We got Russell at 17, 9, and 6. All right, moving on to the Phoenix Suns, which is a team that you could very well see in the second round of the playoffs. Simulate round right here, and we got them 4-1. 39 for Paul George. This man loves playing with Russell. And, yo, Russell, okay, yeah, 25 and 12, nice. Kawhi Leonard, not a great game, but, you know, Russell took over, right? All right, so we got the Lakers now, which is what's going to come down to. I would say this is actually pretty accurate for the conference finals. Simulate rounds ain't enough to get past the home city rival, the home stadium rival, the LA Lakers. 29 for playoff Pete, man. Like, he's killing it. Triple-double for Reggie Jackson. I love seeing the 20 points from Marcus out here. Kawhi really struggling in these playoffs, which, you know, that's the thing. It's like, if Paul or Kawhi struggle, you have Russell Westbrook to kind of, like, back you up. Where, I mean, Russell can also struggle at times, too. But it's all good, man. And we got the Nets in the finals. I still don't know if the Nets, or if the Clippers would have enough to get past the Nets. Like, that's such a good big three, the way they've been playing, like, 14-2 in their last 16 games. Simulate rounds. And we got swept 4-0. I think we're going to be saying a lot of that this year, man, for the rest of the 2K duration. Like, that's such a good team. It is not fair, man. Blake Griffin dropping 7. And they still beat us 143-124. So, it gets you to the finals. You know, once you get to the finals, anything can happen. And I still think this big three has as much opportunity to click as any big three, but also with some, you know, self-destructive tendencies. So hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. Russell Westbrook to the Clippers. Who knows, man? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Peace out, my friends.